So this is going to be a little impromptu tutorial. I I was trying to airbrush something, and this guy, this is my I have two Iwata Neos. This guy is a bottom fed. They're both double action. Let's see. I have a single action one. This is a single action airbrush. This is one that I've had for a very long time. This is how you adjust the flow, the paint flow, is by screwing this nozzle. That's more, and then this is less. It just tightens up the how much air can flow over the little nozzle. But the double action works like this. You press down for more air. The harder you push, the more air goes through. And then when you pull it back, the more paint is allowed through the nozzle. That happens by this little, well, you can't really see it, but there's a little needle in here. Where's your needle? Uh-oh. Oh, here it is. This little needle. So, this guy, I already broke this guy down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to soak him in some of this airbrush restorer. It's you're not supposed to run it through your airbrush, but what you can do is soak the parts in it. And like you can see, like some of my little paint cups are pretty gnarly. They could definitely use it, but I'm pretty sure that this guy's clogged up with primer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little glass jar. Oh, this one's kind of dirty. That doesn't really matter. It melts paint. This stuff does. I'm going to fill this up with some of this restorer stuff. And I'm going to pop these guys in and let them soak in there. And oh, can let all these guys soak in here. But I'm going to show you how to disassemble this guy. This guy, so when you're using your airbrush, one way that you can clean it is just use some glass cleaner, or like a something with ammonia in it, like this. I don't know what this stuff is. It's just like a multi-surface cleaner. But you can use that and just run it through there, or use something like this is an actual airbrush cleaner, media cleaner. So this, when I got this airbrush, well, this one came with a compressor. The Iwata Neo is designed to run on less air power. It's a quieter compressor, and it also has less air pressure. And you can still adjust the air pressure on it. It's just that the compressor, the airbrush and the compressor are designed to run at a lesser, yeah, you get it. So anyways, this guy is still working fine, but it's definitely dirty. Could definitely use a good clean. So here, this is the nozzle, right? There's definitely some dried paint in there. This is the mechanism. If you can see it right here, pull it back. I can even see some dried paint on the tip of it right there. So this is how you disassemble the actual mechanism. This part tightens and loosens the this guy, the needle. You can see there's some goop on there. This restorer stuff though, it does just kind of melts paint. So if we get a little bit on there, you can see it just wipes right off. Don't really need to soak it too much at all. And then this part, this mechanism for the pressure, there's a spring in here. So I'm actually going to leave this part attached. I'm going to tighten this up a little bit, and then I'm going to unscrew this guy. So I think that the reason why you aren't supposed to run this stuff through the airbrush is because it will melt like rubber gaskets and things like that. A little bit of paint on there. So that part pops out. And then I'm gonna get in there in this guy with a Q-tip. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this stuff. You can see it's already melting. If I just rub it on there, it'll take that paint right off. Try it on paint, come off like nothing. So I can get it in here, I can go in here in the little mechanism itself, clean a little bit in there. And you can see how much stuff is getting loosened up. Just melts that paint. So, but let's see if there's a little rubber gasket in here. No. So a lot of times paint likes to collect around here in this part and in here. See, look at all that gunk. Still more. I'm actually going to let this guy soak a little bit in here. I'll show you on this guy. So here's the top. Here's the top fed one. And this is my favorite airbrush. This is the one that sees the most use because I can take this guy. So watch out for little parts like this, little rubber gaskets, because that will melt in there. I can take this guy, and this is the bigger paint cup, and I can mix paint inside here. I can put a couple little drops in there, and then I can also, when I want to clean it out, I can just pop it in some water like this. You can run water through it. So I just pop it in the water, and then I run it through there. Like push it on full pressure and run it through, or just empty out everything into one of these guys. But I ran out of my soaking stuff. Okay, let's try it in here. Kind of need a fresh Q-tip. But this is mostly where the paint collects, is in here, where the little connection is for the paint cup. But you can see this guy's nice and dirty. Getting a lot of junk out of there. A lot of dried paint. Which will clog it, you know, it'll, you might think that your airbrush is broken and it's totally not. It just has some dried paint in it. I think that that's one thing that really intimidates people with airbrushing, is like the mechanism itself. They're like, oh, I don't want to spend $100 or $50 or whatever on an airbrush, and like, I'll take it apart and I won't know how to put it back together again. It's super easy. That's pretty much all there is to it. Gonna get a fresh Q-tip. So let's see if I go in there. It's a clean, fresh Q-tip, so if there's still stuff coming out, then that means it's still melting paint. I'm not really sure what this stuff is. I want to say it's like acetone or something like that, like nail polish remover, kind of something similar. Not really sure. Still stuff coming out. So I'm going to let these guys soak for a minute, and I'm going to make sure that I get all of the paint out, and then I'll show you how to put them back together. Alright, so multiple Q-tips and paper towels and all that later. You can see it's like new. Super clean. Just kind of melted all that paint off. In fact, here you can see all that stuff that came out of there. Even this guy with all of the caked on stuff, I'm letting him soak a little bit longer, but you can see it almost all came out. So time to put these guys back together. Alright, so first I'm going to stick this part in this way, like so. Take the little action part right here, put it in like that, this way, so that the needle can go through it. Pop the needle in. There we go. That's already way better. And you can fine tune that however you like. However, you know, the farther back you put it, the more paint is going to flow. I like mine about like right there. And then this will tighten this part, so it makes it a little bit harder to pull back. So you have to push or pull a little bit further, a little bit harder to get more paint. For, you know, if you're doing fine lines, it can help just have a little more control. There we go. Pop this guy on the back. Yeah, you can see how this stuff even melted the paint off of my self-healing cutting mat guy. I'm going to pull back on the needle. Put this guy on. There you go, like new. The other one, it's the same thing. I really like these Iwata. I mean, I'm an Iwata fanboy. I love Iwata. I think their airbrushes are just the best. But if you do break one, save. You can cannibalize the parts off of it. Use it on another airbrush. Ooh, yep, something just came out. Some goop in there. There's more stuff in there. I'm actually going to give that guy a little bit more extra attention. This is the one that wasn't flowing as well. You can see that spring mechanism in there. But anyways, that's how you clean your airbrush and reassemble it. Thanks for watching.